Hello and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin, and we're part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network, and it's good to be back here again this week to run down the weekly happenings in Impact Wrestling. We had, of course, the show, Impact Wrestling show, which was fairly well, which was pretty good. Had a few solid matches. Again, you know, there's always some stuff that I'm like, it's okay, and I'm going to discuss that when we get to start talking about the show. But a lot of things happened actually this week. A lot of some news to talk about actually, and the new set of tapings started under the Don Callis and Scott D'Amore regime. So the new set of tapings began, and we had some returns. Huge signing made his debut as well, and new face in the Knockouts division making her debut. Some news about Rey Mysterio. So I'm just gonna. I normally don't talk spoilers on the show, and but this show, there's a few things happened during the tapings, and I normally, like I said, I normally don't talk about spoilers, but Impact Wrestling themselves gave away the spoiler, so I figured if Impact Wrestling is giving away the spoilers, that I guess it's okay for me to talk about the spoilers on the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. Now, if you don't like spoilers, and believe me, I'm not a spoiler guy. I hate spoilers. So if you don't like hearing spoilers, I would say put your fingers in your ears. Maybe you want to fast forward the podcast a bit, but I'm going to talk about a few spoilers. One that really irritated me, something that happened that really irritated me, and we're going to talk about some huge signings and some new faces as well. So let's start with, again, this is the last chance. I'm going into spoilers, so if you're not a spoilers person, I would suggest that you fast forward the podcast right now. Don't turn it off. Keep listening to it. But fast forward, till I get past the spoilers. I don't know how long I'm going to be talking about the spoilers. But maybe you just want to fast forward a little bit until I get to the, actual show part. So last warning there. So, let's get on to the spoilers. Okay. Austin Aries. Austin Aries makes his return to Impact Wrestling, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Austin Aries is a tremendous wrestler, tremendous talent, former TNA World Champion, X Division Champion, just tremendous talent. He was in the WWE, they didn't use him to his full, potential, and, he decided, of course, to leave WWE, and, he's back in Impact Wrestling, and it's a huge plus for Impact Wrestling. But on his first appearance, making his return to Impact Wrestling, he confronted Eli Drake, and Eli Drake apparently challenged him to a match, and they were in the street clothes. Austin Aries accepts, and apparently in a squash match. I haven't seen the match, but I've read that it was a squash match. That's why I said apparently. Austin Aries defeats Eli Drake and becomes the new I'm thinking about the word impact on the belt. Becomes a new Impact Global Champion. So Austin Aries makes his return, comes to the ring in his street clothes, and within a few minutes becomes the new Impact Global Champion. That I'm not happy about. At all. First of all, it makes Impact Wrestling wrestlers look very weak and inferior to other wrestlers, especially former WWE wrestlers coming in. So that's the first thing. Second thing, Eli Drake is an exceptional talent. Why in the hell do you keep making him look like a goofball? I'm sorry, but that's what they've been doing. And this is, they've done it again here. They've made him look like a freaking goofball, and he's not a goofball. He's a tremendous talent. He plays the part, he talks the part, he acts the part. He's the total package. He's not Lex Luger, but he's the total package Eli Drake. But he is just a phenomenal talent, someone that deserves to carry that title. And once again, they made him look like a jerk. And they've done it in the past. You look at the whole Turkey episode, or Turkey Suit episode. The episode ends with him getting a hit in the face with a pie, and he looks like a schmuck at the end. He's been pinned a number of times in tag team matches and looked like a schmuck. But he's not a schmuck. He's a legitimate world champion, and I don't know, I totally disagree with this. I'm sorry. To me, it's not a good start. For me, it's not a good start, for the Don Callis, Scott D'Amore regime, because it feels like nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. You know, you have your champion. You know, if Austin Aries came in and confronted Eli Drake, and they went back and forth verbally, and Austin Aries says, I want a shot at the title, and Eli Drake said, you got a shot at the title, and they built it up, I would have Eli Drake defeat Austin Aries. I would have booked Eli Drake to defeat Austin Aries and say, Impact Wrestling wrestlers are better than WWE wrestlers coming in. That's how I would have booked it. But now, the way it came off is, former WWE wrestlers are coming in, and they're superior to Impact Wrestling wrestlers, and it was proven right here, because Austin Aries, in a squash match, just defeated our champion to win the global championship. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. I'm not happy about that at all. No, I'm sorry. It pisses me off. Impact Wrestling has tremendous wrestlers, but here they're made to look inferior. And how long Austin Aries is going to hold the title for, I don't know, but I'm not looking forward to seeing that match. I might not even watch it, because it's going to piss me off even more when I see it. So, yeah, I say welcome back, Austin Aries. It's great to have that talent back in Impact Wrestling, but to have him come in and squash win our champion for the title is total bullshit. I'm sorry. That's total bullshit, and I'm very disappointed that Don Callis and Scott D'Amore have gone that route. So, there. That's all I got to say about that. I'm sorry. It's total bullshit. It makes Impact Wrestling look inferior to the WWE. You might, I'm sorry, that was bad, because Impact Wrestling might be inferior, actually, to the WWE, but what I'm trying to say is, you're trying to build up Impact Wrestling. I'm sorry, but anger is talking right now, so I'm spitting words out without thinking. Of course, WWE is superior to Impact Wrestling, but there's no denying that. But you have a chance now. You had a chance to show that your champion can beat WWE guys coming in. That's what I should be saying. You know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm talking about. They should have built it up. Eli Drake should have gotten the win over Austin Aries, and it would have, made Impact Wrestling wrestlers look, hey, we got some good guys here too. Here comes Austin Aries, and he's going to squash and win the world title from our champion. And I'm sorry, but I'm angry, and I might sound like I'm rambling. I might not be making much sense, but talking about it makes me angry. So I'm sorry, but it's total bullshit, and I'm not happy about it. But what could I do? All I could do is rant about it, which I'm doing right now. But anyway, so I just got that. Just wanted to talk about that, and again, I'm not looking forward to that match. I really I don't know. I might not even watch it. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna piss me off even more. It probably won't even come across good on TV. Cause, when Austin Aries came down, it looked like they were, and they're back in the Impact Zone, first of all. They're back in the Impact Zone in Orlando. And all due respect, but I saw a video online of Austin Aries coming down. Looked like there were less people at the Impact Zone. So I don't know if going back to Orlando was the best idea. They should have stayed, they should have gone on location somewhere else, bringing some, actual wrestling fans. Like, when they went to Ottawa, that was terrific. The fans really getting behind it. India, the India fans were really, getting behind the product. And yeah, everyone's saying, oh, but they paid fans. Yeah, they're not even if they paid a few fans to come in or a few extras, they're not the first wrestling promotion to do that. So shut the hell up. Okay, but I've seen that so many times on social media. People say, "Oh, they paid the whole crowd to be there." They didn't pay the whole crowd to be there. They might have, if they paid for a few extras to fill some seats. So what? So what? Every promotion does. WWE does it. WWE does it. I'm sure almost every promotion does it. So anyway, that's not even worth talking about. But yeah, so they should have gone on location again somewhere else, not the Impact Zone. But anyway, they're back in the Impact Zone for the next group of tapings. And actually, I need to apologize because last week I thought that this week was going to be the start of the new tapings on. We're going to start to see the new tapings with this show, but I think there are 2 more weeks left of the Ottawa taping, so I was wrong there, so I apologize. So in 2 weeks, I think 2 or 3 weeks, we'll see from the new tapings. But anyway, so that's Austin Aries, and also debuting in Impact Wrestling, and I talked about this about 2 weeks ago. About a week or 2 weeks ago, the debut of. Yeah, I'm pausing because I want everyone to be on the edge of their seat right now. No, but the debut of Brian Cage from Lucha Underground. Now, Brian Cage is a absolutely phenomenal wrestler, phenomenal talent, and he was thinking about signing with New Japan, but he opted to go with Impact Wrestling. It's true or not, but that's what I read online. But he signed with Impact Wrestling. He made his debut. Apparently he took on 2 enhancement talents and just ran right over both of them. Apparently he's had a really good showing in his first 2 matches, and I'm really, really psyched about this. It's a terrific thing, getting Brian Cage. Big Brian Cage fan. I actually, on the flip side of this Austin Aries fiasco, I can't wait to see the debut of Brian Cage for Impact Wrestling. That's something I'm really looking forward to. Again, terrific signing. So, Don Callis and Scott D'Amore, they start off with this Austin Aries fiasco. Don't get me wrong, they brought back Austin Aries. That's terrific. Austin Aries is a terrific talent, and I'm glad he's back, but the whole title change thing is a fiasco. In my opinion. But on the flip side of that Austin Aries title change fiasco, they signed Brian Cage, which is terrific, and I can't wait to see Brian Cage in action. Another new face. I know they signed her some time ago. Kiera Hogan will be making her debut as well, or made her debut. Terrific talent, and she's going to add a lot to the Knockouts division, and that's a debut I'm looking forward to as well. So Kiera Hogan making her debut, and Rey Mysterio apparently was almost signed to be at this set of tapings, but I guess something apparently fell through, and he wasn't signed. But the rumor is that he hasn't signed yet, and he will hopefully sign with Impact Wrestling. If they get Rey Mysterio, into Impact Wrestling, and think about the 3 names that they've added. Even though one was involved in the title change fiasco, Austin Aries, Brian Cage, and Rey Mysterio. We'd love to see Rey Mysterio. He's not going to be at this set of tapings that are going on currently, but we'll love to see him at the next set of tapings. And Don Callis has announced that there's going to be a live pay-per-view in April. So Rey Mysterio could show up for that. So that could turn out to be a very, very good pay-per-view. There's a lot of potential there. When you think of Brian Cage, I'm thinking immediately Brian Cage against Bobby Lashley. I'm thinking of Brian Cage against EC3. There's so much potential there. Thinking about Rey Mysterio renewing his feud with Alberto El Patron. Rey Mysterio against Eli Drake will be absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot of with the new stars there, with Akeem Zane, Tony Cage. Actually, now they got Brian Cage in. It's my guess that Tony Cage is going to have a name change. I don't think it's going to be Brian Cage and Tony Cage, unless they team them up as the Cage brothers. But my guess with Brian Cage now in Impact Wrestling, that Tony Cage will be getting some sort of a name change. That's my guess. Maybe not, but that's my guess right there. But anyway, back to what I was saying. New stars with Akeem Zane, Tony Cage. You have Trevor Lee. Hopefully he's not going anywhere. You have a lot of talent. There's so much talent now in Impact Wrestling, a lot of potential. It's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Because there's a lot of people out there that are still saying, oh, everybody's leaving, this company needs to fold. Again, I'm going to say shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. It's not folding, it's not going anywhere. Brian Cage. I am so excited that Brian Cage is in Impact Wrestling, that they got it done, that they signed him. It's going to be terrific. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Really cannot wait. I'm more psyched about that than anything. That they have Brian Cage at Impact Wrestling now. And I can't wait for these new sets of tapings to start. Although I am not going to be happy about the title change fiasco. And that's the last I'm going to mention about it. That's the last I'm going to mention about it. But anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit of news this week in Impact Wrestling. And nothing left to do but, I guess, to get on with the weekly show that took place this week. Yeah, so this week we were still in Ottawa. As I said earlier, I apologize because I thought we were getting the new set of tapings was going to start this week. And I do apologize. I guess I should have did a little research on that, so I apologize for that. But it was still in Ottawa this week. And so the show starts with a recap of last week's show. There we see Bobby Lashley and Dan Lambert coming out. They open the show, and Dan Lambert, because Bobby Lashley is still just standing over to the side while Dan Lambert cuts a promo on Ottawa. Says that Impact Wrestling is very resilient, even though they continue to beat them down. Impact Wrestling is very resilient. They're kind of like cockroaches. And then he says that not even cockroaches want to live in Ottawa. Something to that of that nature. To get some heat on the crowd, get some heat from the crowd. And Bobby Lashley's just standing there. Bobby Lashley's been, I kind of miss Bobby Lashley talking, cause he really was, when he was the Destroyer, he was, when he was walking Armageddon, he was cutting some really good promos, and he was really, one of the highlights. His promos became one of the highlights of Bobby Lashley, of seeing Bobby Lashley. And now with Dan Lambert, Bobby Lashley is off the side, and Dan Lambert's, cutting promos. Dan Lambert, he's kind of decent promo. He can kind of decent promo. But I kind of miss Bobby Lashley, and a few things happened here where kind of hinted that we might be getting that Bobby Lashley back. Of course, he talks about James Storm. He says James Storm was the face of Impact, and he says now James Storm is unemployed. Newsflash: James Storm is not going to be unemployed. He's gonna go to work for NXT. Okay, Dan Lambert. But anyway, he's not unemployed. And so he goes on a James Storm rant, and then he says, and this is where it was kind of hinted where, Bobby Lashley might be, getting a little fed up with American Top Team and Dan Lambert. Lambert kind of said that KM did something that Lashley couldn't do, and that was to take out James Storm. And you could see, Bobby Lashley had the looked a little annoyed when Lambert said that. So it was kind of a hint. Well, before that happened, actually, I'm sorry, jumping ahead here on my notes. Dan Lambert actually announced the newest member of American Top Team, which was KM, and then Lambert said KM did what Lashley couldn't do, and that was take out James Storm. And Lashley looked a little annoyed, kind of, hinting that, okay, Bobby Lashley is, no longer really that interested in American Top Team, and he's gonna come back to Impact Wrestling and it's gonna save Impact Wrestling from American Top Team. Yeah! Bobby Lashley! So that's what happened. And KM came out, and he cut a promo himself. He says he belongs there. He proved himself. And he started talking about Moose. He said he took out Moose, and Moose then shows up. His music hits. He comes down, and he starts brawling with KM. Lashley jumps in, pulls Moose off of KM, and Lashley and KM beat down Moose, and Eddie Edwards comes out and makes the save. And so Moose and Eddie Edwards run off on KM and Lashley. Actually they had Dan Lambert cornered, but once again, Bobby Lashley pulls him out of the ring, and Dan Lambert, nobody lays a hand on Dan Lambert. He kind of escapes. So KM being the newest member of American Top Team, I like it because I know KM is an exceptional talent. I won't say exceptional talent, but he's a very good talent. He could be a great talent. Exceptional is a poor choice of words. He's not an exceptional talent. Brian Cage is an exceptional talent. KM's a very, very good talent, and it's good to see him now. He's kind of, can you call it main? I guess you can say. I guess you can. So he's kind of thrust into this main event picture here, and he's obviously going to be the guy that Bobby Lashley is going to feud with, because Lashley is getting a little annoyed with Lambert talking about KM. So that's going to be Bobby Lashley's out, and he's going to feud eventually with KM. In my opinion, that's my prediction right there. But anyway, Eddie Edwards comes out. He doesn't have. They didn't mention that he was the Pro Wrestling Noah champion anymore, because he actually lost the title. So they didn't mention that. Last week they did mention it, but they didn't. There was no talk of it this week. So he comes out, so Moose and Eddie Edwards, and we find out later on that the main event, Eddie Edwards, and Moose will be taking on KM and Bobby Lashley. So that's the main event for the show. So that's where that's going. That's where that feud's going. So Bobby Lashley, I don't know, how is it gonna play out? He's gonna get tired of the insults, and they're all going to be, the American Top Team are going to be attacking Moose, and Bobby Lashley has had enough, and maybe he'll help Moose, and Lashley and Moose will become a tag team. You got KM, fine, you got KM, which was thrust into this, like I said, main event picture, or almost main event picture. But who, after KM though, there's really nobody, right? Unless he brings more wrestlers in. So unless they're trying to give KM a push here, KM gets a victory over Bobby Lashley. That'll be a good push. We'll see. There's a lot of potential there, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. So from there we got EC3 comes to the ring, and he cuts a promo on Matt Sydal, choking. He also, just right. He called Canada America's top hat, which I thought was a little which was funny. So, and then he had an open challenge. And I guess because he called Canada America's top hat, which is a great line, by the way. So Petey Williams accepts the challenge. The Canadian superstar, Petey Williams is, nobody calls Canada America's top hat, if Petey Williams is in the building. Petey Williams. So Petey Williams, he accepts the open challenge, and he comes down to the ring, and we have the match. We have Petey Williams against Ethan Carter III in a non-title match. So this is where it's a non-title match. It's a Grand Championship non-title match, but the non-title match is contested. It's not contested under Grand Championship rules. It's just a regular matchup. So this is my confusion here. So it's a Grand Championship match, but it's a non-title match. So it's not contested under Grand Championship rules. It just doesn't make sense to me, right? It's a Grand Championship match, but since it's non-title, there's no Grand Champion, there's no judges, there's no rounds. So it's just a normal matchup. So I don't know. Just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I prefer Grand Championship, matches, regular matchups, but, so I guess if there's a number one contender match for the Grand Championship title, is it contested under Grand Championship rules? I don't think there's ever been a number one contender match, or is it contested under regular rules? The whole thing is freaking confusing. I don't know. But anyway, the match itself had some really good action, and it was a solid match, in my opinion. Petey Williams, very talented. EC3 is extremely talented, of course. So it was a good match. Lots of good back and forth action. Matt Sydal runs in at the end, from the crowd, and he's wearing a little hat, and he's wearing his cool clothes, and he comes into the ring and he attacks, EC3, and, EC3 wins the match by disqualification. But like I said, it was a good match. And yeah. So Matt Sydal. Actually, I'm just looking at my notes here. Matt Sydal actually. I'm skipping ahead just a little bit. Matt Sydal, he cut a promo a few segments later on EC3, calling him out. He cut a promo on EC3 calling him out. And he challenges EC3 to a Grand Championship match but a classic match, not under Grand Championship rules. He said no rounds, no judges, just a classic match for the grand title. And he said, let's go 60 minutes. So basically he's asking for a 60-minute Iron Man match with EC3, and I'd say he didn't actually say the word Iron Man match. He just said, let's just have a 60-minute match, a 60-minute classic match, no rounds, no judges for the grand title. Does Vince McMahon own the phrase Iron Man match? Is that why he couldn't say it, or are they just trying to be different, or I don't know? But it just basically asking for a 60-minute Iron Man match. But hey, I'm all for it. I say just get rid of the judges, get rid of the rounds. Matt Sydal and EC3 having a 60-minute match, on TV, has tremendous potential, and it could be has the potential to be a like I said, tremendous match. So when that's going to happen, I don't know. They didn't officially announce it. I guess EC3 would need to accept it. But yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for that 100%. Let's have a classic match, 60 minutes. I guess the person with the most pins will win, or submissions will win. And yeah, that's I'm all for it. 100%. Let's get the job done. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah. So what happened here? Oh, my phone. Never mind. Okay, now I'm looking at my notes and it's like, what did I write here? Oh, I lost my place in my notes for a second. Oh, sorry. So, so after that match, after the EC3 Penny Williams match, Allie is backstage and, she's talking about, being the number one contender, and she's all fired up. She cut an angry promo. She cut an angry promo on Laurel Van Ness. It wasn't the sweet Allie. It was a different Allie, and and I like this Allie. I like this Allie a lot. She's saying that she's not just a meek little Allie. Allie says things are changing. She's not weak and small. She said if Laurel wants to play the game, then let's play. So Allie was pissed. I liked it. I liked the angry Allie. So, definitely looking forward to this, match, for the Knockouts title between Laurel Van Ness and Allie. They're really building it up nicely. I want to see more. I want to see more of Angry Allie. Maybe that could be her new name. Instead of just Allie, she could be Angry Allie. She could be Angry Allie. So it'll be Laurel Van Ness defending against Angry Allie. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to the match between Van Ness and Allie for the title. They haven't officially announced it either, so I'm not sure when that's going to take place. But then we got the Global Wrestling Network flashback. James Storm winning the TNA World title from Kurt Angle. It was a good match. Storm hits a super kick on Angle, wins the title. Got a tremendous pop from the crowd. Huge celebration. AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Frankie Kazarian came down, and they made it seem really important. And I hope Don Callis and Scott D'Amore were watching that, because that segment made the TNA World title back then, when James Storm defeated Kurt Angle for it. It made it seem like that title was so freaking important, and it meant something. Something they haven't really done with the title in recent memory. Yeah, the crowd popped. Bobby Roode came out, and James Storm said, "This title belongs to you." And Bobby Roode said, "No, you won it. It belongs to you." And, with Styles and Kazarian coming out, and the crowd was just popping the entire time. They really made the title look really important, and that's what they need now. So I hope Don Callis and Scott D'Amore were watching that, and I hope they're saying, "Oops, we made a mistake." We made a mistake with Austin Aries by putting the title on him. We didn't make a mistake bringing him in, but we made a mistake putting the title on him in a squash match over our champion. So that's what they need. So that's what they need now, man. That's what they need now. They need to make the Impact Global title seem important. And I don't know, man. You think about it, maybe that's what they're going to do with Austin Aries. But anyway, I don't want to go back into Austin Aries. We're past that now. We're moving on to match 3. Which was Laurel Van Ness versus one of my favorites, Casey Spinelli, in a non-title match. And let me tell you, this was an excellent match. This was really solid. Both women worked hard, and lots of good back and forth action in this match. And Casey Spinelli is terrific. I gotta say, I am a fan of Casey Spinelli, and we've been seeing a lot of Casey Spinelli lately here at Impact during these tapings, and I hope that they sign her and they bring her on a full-time basis, because she is so talented, and she really belongs in the Knockouts division. Again, very, very talented. I love the match. Laurel Van Ness also very, very talented. I was a Laurel Van Ness fan from the start. She has her in-ring skills are just tremendous. and she got the curb stomp. She hits the Unprettier. She won the match. She hit the Unprettier on Casey Spinelli to win the match. But Spinelli got in some good offense as well, and very, very good match. Solid match. Again, if they haven't signed Casey Spinelli, they should really consider signing Casey Spinelli on a full-time basis. But after the match was over, here comes Angry Allie. Sorry, the Angry Allie ran to the ring, and out of character, she just ran to the ring and beat down Laurel Van Ness. And eventually Laurel Van Ness got away. But Angry Allie is, she's angry. She's angry at Laurel Van Ness. So yes, that was, add a little heat to their feud there. So, so I'm looking forward to the match. It's a nice build. They're kind of building up to it. They're having, excuse me, they're building up to it, and it's, I'm really looking forward to that one. It's gonna be a good match, when Laurel Van Ness defends her title against Angry Allie. Then we find out that, Eli Drake will be coming out, to address the crowd, or something along the world champion address. I'm not sure that he's once going to come out and address the crowd, or he's going to have his championship address, something of that nature. So they come out, and Eli Drake insults the crowd right away, and he goes into the dummy, which is great. He's a great talker. Eli Drake is a terrific talker. Eli Drake is an exceptional talent, and I could use that with Eli Drake. Eli Drake is an exceptional talent, and he is just a tremendous. Well, he was a tremendous champion, and when they put the title on him, and he won the title, when he won the Global Impact Championship, I said he deserves it. Eli Drake deserves it. Great champion. They could have given him a few more quality wins, but we've gone into that, and I'm not going to go into it again. So he came out. So he addresses the crowd. Now, I don't know, when he's insulting the crowd, and the crowd is chanting Deport Drake, and he's chanting Deport Drake, and Drake was like, he's called Ottawa a cesspool, and he can't wait to get back to LA, which is interesting because Impact Wrestling is taped in Orlando. So that was interesting. Well, I mean, the next set of tapings will be in Orlando. Again, maybe he lives in LA. I don't know. But anyway, so he insults the crowd. Alberto El Patron comes out. He verbally assaults Eli Drake. Eli Drake also mentions something about Detroit, about something happening in Detroit, and then Patron comes out. He verbally assaults Drake, like I said. And then Johnny Impact comes out, and he wants to be in Detroit too. Patron mentioned Detroit as well. And then Impact, Patron, Drake, and Adonis all brawl. Then we find out next week from Detroit, it's going to be Eli Drake versus Alberto El Patron versus Johnny Impact for the Global Impact Heavyweight Championship next week in Detroit. Now that's fine. Now I'm glad that this time that they actually announced that it's not going to be in the Impact Zone. It's not going to be taped in Ottawa. It's going to be taped in Detroit. I'm only hoping that they show a full match and they don't show clips of a match, or 3 to 4 minutes worth of clips of a match next week from Detroit. And I'm pretty sure it's not next week. I'm sure it's been taped already. But next week, from Detroit will be Eli Drake versus Alberto El Patron versus Johnny Impact for the global title. So that's next week. And then we go next backstage, and Dan Lambert is with KM and Lashley. And once again, here we go. Lambert saying Storm is gone because of KM, and Bobby Lashley looks annoyed. He doesn't look sad or disappointed. He looks annoyed. So another step forward to Bobby Lashley leaving America Top Team and feuding with KM and the rest of America Top Team. Then from there, we had. What do we have from the? Chandler Park and Joseph Park. They're backstage, and Chandler Park was talking about his win. He says he's undefeated in Impact Wrestling. When Jimmy Jacobs comes out, calls himself the Princess or whatever. He comes out, and Jacobs talks to Joseph Park and says Joseph Park used to be Abyss, and now he's a cheap lawyer or cheap lawyer or something of that nature. And Jacobs said how he used to be the Monster Abyss, but now there's just one monster, and it's Kongo Kong is the real monster in Impact Wrestling. Kongo Kong comes out. Actually, Chandler tries to confront Jacobs, says nobody talks about my family like that, and he has this really weird nasally voice as well. Anyway, but he confronts Jacobs. Kongo Kong then came in actually, and Chandler instantly backed down. Looked scared, and that was the end of the segment. And looks like it's leading to Kongo Kong versus Abyss. And I know Don Callis said that there's an upcoming pay-per-view. Most likely at that pay-per-view will be Abyss against Kongo Kong, which could be a tremendous match. Abyss has lost a step. He didn't look too good in the Grado match, but we'll see. Monster versus Monster, Abyss versus Kongo Kong. It's coming. So get ready, folks. It's coming. Abyss and Kongo Kong. But this whole segment itself wasn't the best segment. I don't know. This Chandler, Ethan Page was doing a good job with Chandler Park, but this was maybe my least favorite segment with Chandler Park. So it was okay. And Jimmy Jacobs, I don't know. Let's give him the benefit of it. Let's give Jimmy Jacobs the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully we'll see him in more segments, but him and Kongo Kong make an interesting pairing. So we'll see what happens there. I wonder if it's going to be Kongo Kong and Abyss in a Monsters Ball match, or maybe it'll be maybe I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. Abyss in, but anyway, Kongo Kong and Abyss, get ready because it's happening. It's happening down the road, probably at the next pay-per-view. It is happening. Okay, and then from there, we have OVE. They're in the LAX clubhouse and they trash it. They steal money, and they throw around the beer bottles, and they trash tables. They trash the whole room, and they take the money. They take the LAX flags. And Sami Callihan says something about LAX. Hey, LAX bitch, welcome to Ohio, amigo. So it was a good segment. It was a good segment. It was done like on a handy cam or something, and it was an interesting segment. I guess I'm not sure. I think whoever was filming it was done on a handy cam. So it was a good segment. It was a good little segment. And then immediately following that, show LAX showing up to the clubhouse, and Santana's like, Santana immediately says they took the money, and Santana's like, where are they at? This has to happen now. and Conan says something about crackers. They took our paper flags and they destroyed our clubhouse. And it says it's time to get violent again. And Conan wants to remove the ring ropes and put up the barbed wire. And Jimmy Barash is like, wow. He's like, wow, a barbed wire match. He's like, whoa, a barbed wire match. And I just thought it was like, whoa, okay. And but yeah, so now it looks like we're headed to a barbed wire. Actually, not we're headed. They announced that next week it's going to be LAX versus OVE in a barbed wire massacre match. So that's next week. We'll also announce next week is actually Kongo Kong against Chandler Park. So that should be interesting next week. So Kongo Kong against Chandler Park, and LAX and OVE in a barbed wire massacre match. And then also from Detroit, it's going to be Eli Drake against Johnny Impact against Alberto El Patron. So those matches are coming up for next week. Then after that, match 4, we had Trevor Lee, Caleb Conley, and Hakeem Zayn. Speaking of Hakeem Zayn, if you haven't heard the Hakeem Zayn interview on the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network, done by yours truly, go ahead and check it out. I recently spoke with Hakeem Zayn, and we talked about Impact Wrestling, among other things. But yeah, go ahead and check that interview out on tapdownwrestlingpodcast.com. But it was Trevor Lee, Caleb Conley, Hakeem Zayn against Sanjay Dutt, Garza Jr., and Desmond Xavier. And it was a good match. Between both teams. That's good action. Garza Jr. though, I gotta talk about Garza Jr. for a second. The guy has a screwed up shoulder. He's obviously, he's a one-armed man right now. Why are they forcing him to wrestle with the one arm? Well, I shouldn't say force, but, if Garza Jr. was told not to wrestle, but he wrestles anyway, it's like, what are you doing, man? He can't even move one arm. His shoulder's all screwed up, however he injured it. He shouldn't be in the ring, man. He should be resting and recuperating. But anyway, it was a good match. And, Garza Jr. did his pants pull off thing, and, every time he does that, though, it doesn't every match the wrestler who's on the other side of that, they're like, what's going on? He doesn't every match, act surprised, that he's taking his pants off, But anyway, yes, like I said, it was a good match. Actually, Zayn got some decent offense in as well. So overall, like I said, good match, good X Division match. Nothing spectacular. It was just a good match, but Sanjay Dutt, Garza Jr. and Desmond Xavier win. Xavier does get the hits the spiral tap on Hakeem Zayn and gets the win for his team. And after the match, Tajay Ishimori comes out with the X Division title, and he congratulates Desmond Xavier. And they face off, and it looks like actually next week the match is going to happen. That as well. So next week, Tajay Ishimori takes on Desmond Xavier for the X Division Championship. So next week's looking pretty good. In terms of matches. This is one match I'm really looking forward to. Xavier against Ishimori. I don't know. I'd like to say Xavier is going to win the X Division title, but I don't think Ishimori is going to lose it just yet. But nonetheless, it's going to be a tremendous match next week, and I'm looking forward to this one for sure. Really looking forward to this one for sure. Why suddenly, let's get back to Trevor Lee for a second. Trevor Lee lost the title to Tajay Ishimori. So why is Xavier suddenly getting that title shot? Why not give Trevor Lee the rematch? Why can't we see Trevor Lee get the rematch and get his damn title back, because he deserves the damn title? But anyways, again, they're kind of like saying, Trevor Lee, let's brush him under the rug, and and he's probably in the X division. He's probably the most talented guy that they have. And I went on a Trevor Lee rant last week, and I don't want to go on it again. But here's Taiji Ishimori, and Desmond Xavier are going to have a showdown for the X Division title. But Trevor Lee is not going to get his rematch. Isn't there a rematch clause? Isn't there a rematch clause that states that if you lose the title, you get a rematch? But I guess it's Trevor Lee, so hey, we haven't treated him well, so we'll just lift up the rug and brush him under it, and that'll be it. But anyway, and Trevor Lee even could have gotten the win in this match and made him look strong, but I guess they had to give it to Desmond Xavier because of the match coming up with Ishimori. But anyway, I've done enough ranting on stuff today anyway, so I'm not going to rant anymore. So that was that X Division match. And then, where's my notes? Where's the main event? Where's my main event notes? Where's my, hold on a second. Oh, there it is. I found it. I was like, what happened to my main event notes? The main event, KM and Lashley. Sorry, you're hearing all the paper rustling here. Okay, so, main event, KM and Lashley with Dan Lambert against Moose and Eddie Edwards. Match was really good. It was a good match. They're building up KM. KM got the win for his team. He hit Eddie Edwards with a lung blower bomb, which is a terrific move, and got the win for his team. Yeah, but it was a good match. Lots of good offense. I love Moose's hesitation drop kick. And he hit KM with it in the corner, which is a good move. And he hits the go to hell on KM as well. Almost got a near fall, but Lashley broke up the pin. But good match. Eddie Edwards has probably the best suicide dive in professional wrestling. And he hit that as well on KM. Was it KM or Lashley? I think it was KM. I think he hit KM with it. But the building up KM, which is terrific. KM was doing the "Are you calling me a liar?" thing for a bit, and he was Sienna's boy toy lackey. But now he's thrust into this America Top Team feud picture, and it's I say good for KM and good for Impact Wrestling and good for the fans, because I've liked KM since the start. He's very talented, very talented. I said exceptional before, but I was a mistake. I apologize. And I hope, and if KM happens to listen to this, don't get me wrong. You're a very good talent. You're not exceptional yet, but you're a very good talent. Very good talent. And, but yeah, they're just, I see they gave him the win here, so, next week I could expect Dan Lambert to come out and say, oh, KM won the match for our team, something Lashley couldn't do, or something along those lines, and Lashley getting even more annoyed, and eventually Lashley just snapping and leading to, the Lashley KM match, and, Lashley leaving American Top Team. So that's most likely where they're going with that. But yeah, it's like to see KM, good to see KM get a high profile pin win. Even though it was a tag team match, but it's good to see him get a high profile win here. Yeah, so that's it. I'm just looking at my notes here. I got nothing else here. That's about it for Impact Wrestling. So next week, should be a really, really good show next week. Ishimori against, defending the X Division title against Desmond Xavier. Just gonna run down the matches again. Kongo Kong against Chandler Park, which should be interesting. I'm sure Joseph Park will get involved there. We have the barbed wire massacre with OVE against LEX, which should be absolutely brutal next week. And then from Detroit, it's gonna be Eli Drake defending the former Global Impact champion, Eli Drake, defending the title when he was the champion against Alberto El Patron and Johnny Impact. So that's next week. So that's a good show to look forward to. I'm looking forward to Ishimori and Xavier and the Barbed Wire Massacre match the most. Barbed Wire Massacre, that should be, like I said, it's going to be absolutely brutal. Probably won't be for the faint of heart, but next week it's going to be should be a good show. And that's it this week for Impact Wrestling and the Pro Wrestling Personified podcast. So I got nothing else to say except thank you so much for listening, everybody. I really appreciate everybody listening, downloading. I can't say how much I appreciate it. And until next week, I just want to say again, thank you very much. Take care, bye-bye, and as always, stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.